Thank you so much.
Thank you for thanking me. You and your brother are amazing.
True, wonderful
Yeah.
family.
Yes.
Good evening, everyone. We'd like to welcome you all to the June 24th meeting of the Board of Education, and we would ask us to please lead us.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, the first item is changes in the meeting agenda, and there are a number. We have replacement pages for item T1 instructional personnel, schedules A5-6. Item T2 non-instructional personnel, schedules B1-17B. We have removal of item C on the agenda for what action that will be taken up in a separate meeting. We have addenda item S1, resolution abolishing positions and terminating employees with least seniority. We have addenda item S2, approval of appointment agreement, interim guidance coordinating chairperson. And then we have item S3, approval of the 2020-21 salary schedules for non-aligned employees, non-instructional. Item S4, the approval of 2021 salary schedule for non-aligned confidentials and the district clerk. And we have contracts S10 through S15, contract agreement with the district clerk and the non-aligned. Before we go to a public participation, I have to say, our student representative, I think it was years ago, thrilled that you are. I just want you to know, we are really very proud of you. You have done truly an outstanding job and represented the students of Gilbert High School in an outstanding manner. And we have a little something for you. Again, my colleagues. No hugs or anything like We have a certificate thanking you for your service. And on behalf of my colleagues, $500 scholarship that you can be used at the college. Might buy you 2 or 3 textbooks in this day. But thank you so much. Now we turn to our public participation.
Sarah's gonna give a little.
Oh, I'm sorry.
The yearbook dedication and preview came out today and is up on the Word Marvel page. The senior scholarships and senior academic award videos are up on the Word Marvel page. The senior athletic and scholarship video is out. Seniors were very excited about the senior parade and the teacher tribute video. And lastly, seniors can't wait to have our graduation ceremony in July.
Thank you very much. Now we turn to public participation. 4 individuals have made requests, have made comments, and I'll read each of the 4. The first is from Vinnie Minton. I'd like to propose that a 12th grade capstone course be explored for students in accounting, finance, and business. The idea would be for each student to take the existing school budget and see how creative and innovative they could be to prepare and revise it for the following year. I understand understand that there might be some privacy areas that have to be contended with, but I think that this would be a great real-world initiative that can prepare our students for a high level of budget management for their future. Thank you. Mr. Scanlon, when a course is proposed, it has to follow a process. How does it follow? How does it work specifically in Freeport?
Certainly, the courses are proposed through the faculty to the administration and are brought to the Curriculum Development Committee. That process begins in early September and runs through November. Course catalog is then revised in December and posted online for parents and students to take a look at.
So something like this certainly couldn't be considered for this year. It might be something to be considered for the following years.
Yep.
Second is from Barbara Rosati. Good evening and congratulations to the newly re-elected board trustees. In following closely these board elections, I have learned that our local teachers union not only endorses candidates, but also pays for most of their campaign, worth thousands of dollars. Our local teachers union brings in their state organization NYSUT to campaign with hundreds of partisan emails and phone calls to sway the voters. What NYSUT has to do with matters concerning our children and our community is not clear to me. How can independent community-backed candidates compete with such a system? It is no wonder that only candidates backed by the teachers union have won opposed board elections for the past decade and a half. In addition, I was somewhat dismayed to learn that the local teachers union has, in its president, a full-time lobbyist on the district's payroll who has regular access to our administrators and our board members in private settings. In a Newsday article written by the 2014 Public Service Pulitzer finalist, the NYSUT spokesman at the time commented that this system is cost-effective because it bypasses negotiation lawyers by having the district administrators in the teachers union. Yeah, no. Okay. Was it? Okay. Fortunately, this interaction not only bypasses the lawyers, but also the Board of Education in its collective. Now I wonder, how can the board protect the interests of our children and community if they are cut out of these backstage negotiations? This has happened very recently for remote instruction during the pandemic. I love and support our teachers, and they deserve to have a strong union. But I am concerned about our district's governance in the current situation. I would like to ask each board member and administrator sitting at the table right now to kindly share your thoughts, insight, and solutions about this issue. Third individual is Carmela Lirko Khan. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen of the Board of Education and members of the administration. Dr. Howard Sussman, the Free Village Medical Director, is listed as representing our district for the NYSUT Reopening Task Force regional meeting held this morning. This meeting was live streamed. Archives will be available for everyone to view. Please provide feedback about today's NYSUT Regional Task Force meeting and any information Dr. Sussman has learned that we may be able to share, that he may be able to share with the community. Thank you.
Mr. Hunters, may I just make a point of clarification, if that's okay?
Sure.
Dr. Sussman, was asked to serve on the New York State Reopening Task Force, I believe as a member of the Stony Brook University Hospital, which is where he works. He is not representing Three Village Central School District, although he does serve as our medical director. I do want to state that we were very happy when we learned of Dr. Sussman's appointment. It is quite an honor and well deserved. Dr. Sussman does serve on our school reopening governance task force. He is also one of the facilitators of the Health Leads component, which is a subcommittee. And we do hope that when the governance committee meets again, which will be tomorrow, that Dr. Sussman will be able to provide some helpful insights as a result of his experience in serving on this exemplary committee. Thank you.
Thank you very much. The fourth individual is David Tracy. Good evening, Board of Education members. We would be here this evening delivering these remarks in person if they were not for the current COVID restrictions. In regards to the recent election, let me first begin by saying how extremely impressed I am with the teachers union and their ability to get out to vote. Let me say that how extremely disappointed I am in the fact that the teachers union is able to enforce their will on the Board of Education election. How is it that a union whose sole purpose is to benefit their members, teachers, and other district employees, are able to publicly back and financially support candidates that adhere to their specific agenda? This is no different than Congress or other political bodies voting for their own raises. Having independent candidates is absolutely paramount for ensuring the best interest of all parties involved, mainly the students and the taxpayers. For the last 10 years, clearly no one has had the taxpayers in mind as costs have exploded while student enrollment has drastically declined. Since 2011, enrollment is down over 1,700 students, and yet the budget has increased steadily, never once seeing a decline, bringing the cost per student from $27,000 to $39,000 in that time period. The reasons are obvious for the lengths at which the teachers union had gone for this election because of the expiring teachers contract this year and the hiring of the new superintendent. After giving the current superintendent a very large raise to pay for retirement, I don't exactly trust the current board's judgment in this regard. The other topic I take issue with is the blatant nepotism that runs rampant and unchecked in this district. Board members have had family members seemingly fast-tracked through the system to obtain lofty positions in the district. Union heads have friends and family secured in cushy positions that clearly creates conflicts of interest. All of this will be identified and publicly addressed in the weeks and months to follow. This election has opened many eyes in the community. Please let this letter serve as notice that many no longer sit silent and be content with, well, we stayed under the can. We will be watching, we will be speaking up, we will be getting involved. And that concludes the public comments. Turning now to item 6, items of board discussion. Anything needs to be discussed in this particular point? Items of board action, 7, the
I think at
declaration.
some point it would be interesting to, with respect to this really unprecedented experiment we've just finished, we just wrapped up this distance learning thing, to really start to examine what we did, how it went, what was good, what could we improve, what do other districts do. I mean, I know that, there have been, but I mean, I would really like to see a really intensive discussion about it.
I believe that is what the school reopening task force is doing. We have 9 separate subcommittees that are looking at those issues and in examining what we do in planning for the future. We are also looking at what went well and what didn't go well. There will be a plan and a report to the board within the near future with regard to that.
There's been so much really excellent feedback from the that I've seen from the parent community, especially talking, sending examples of things that other districts have done and all that. I don't know the extent to which that broader conversation is translated into those little committees, which incidentally, when those committees were formed, I was hoping, I don't even know how that process happened. I just got a piece of paper one day with all the committee assignments. I would have liked to have been, had an opportunity to nominate somebody for the committee. I'm not even sure how that all happened, but it just, just seemed to happen.
We will be doing surveys that will go out to parents and to staff, and possibly students, with regard to how things went. And of course, you know, in terms of what the actual plan will be, whether or not we are coming back with a traditional model with restrictions, or it'll be a hybrid model, or whether we will be in remote instruction will be determined by the governor and SED. That will not be determined locally by the LEA or by the community. However, Kevin and I just met yesterday, and we are looking to work with our subcommittees and with outside individuals to create surveys so that we can garner information from the community about what went well, especially with regard to distance learning. So we are very interested in receiving that feedback, and Kevin and I have received a great deal of feedback and have been responding to that over the last 3 months.
Turning to 7 items for board action. A, declaration of results of the annual budget vote and school board elections on June 9th. District Clerk?
As you all know, the budget vote scheduled for June 9th, with tallying began on June 16th. And our budget vote passed, 6,096 yes votes, 3,135 no votes. The votes to elect 3 members of the Board of Education for 3-year terms commencing July 1, 2020 and expiring June 30th, 2023. Ingrid Germano, 4,727 votes. Irene Gish, 4,506 votes. Dr. Kerman, 4,479 votes. Dr. Lee, 3,722 votes. Dr. McKinnon, 3,709 votes. And Vinnie Menton, 2,810 votes. Ingrid Germano, Irene Gish, and Dr. Jeffrey Kerman were elected to the Board of Education.
Have a motion to accept that, please. Mrs. Gish, Mr. Courtwright, all in favor? Opposed? Abstention? Abstain? Yes, you're abstaining. One abstention. B is the appointment of election workers for June 9th, 2020 budget vote and the board election for the votes that are taking place on June 16th. May I have a motion on this, please? Mr. Bizzo, second. Mrs. Gish, any discussion? All in favor? Opposed? Abstention? Motion passes. Item 6 is deleted for now. And item D. Resolution to support state and federal support for public schools to prevent COVID-19 shutdown and damaging education in the state. Mrs. Benson, can you explain this a little bit? This is the resolution that we're. Yes, yes.
This actually is being promoted by the New York State School Teachers Association, and across New York State, we are asking for the board to support the fact that we are looking to gain state and federal funding so that we don't reduce our state aid, as well as the federal funds that are supposed to come to school districts. As a result of COVID-19 and the crisis, we are expecting that there will be reductions. As you know, our governor has been actively campaigning, the federal government, to allow us to continue receiving the necessary funds for our school system. And we're asking the board to support that effort as well as we move forward. So it really is a favorable recommendation.
So motion. Mr. Bizzo, second. Mrs. Gish, any discussion? All in favor? Opposed? Abstention? Motion. Okay, turning to B. Bids.
We have 2 bids, renewals. One is commodity warehouse pickup for federal and state food commodities, and the other is for our driver education program. both of them, same contractors that we've used in the past and are satisfied with the work that they've done.
Motion to accept these movies. Dr. Kerman, second, Mr. Coinwright. Any discussion? All in favor? Opposed? Abstention? Motion passes. Turning to F, joint representation.
The health insurance consortium that we are part of with two other school districts, used to have three other school districts. When the Sable School District left, they filed a lawsuit against the plan, alleging that they were entitled to a portion of the reserves that the plan had in place at the time. The plan's attorney disagreed, so a lawsuit followed, and Sable sued not just the plan, but the other individual districts. So at a previous meeting, the board appointed the firm of Ingham and Smith to represent Three Village School District in that matter. And the reason our General Counsel Gercio and Gercio could not represent us is because some years ago, Gercio and Gercio was the attorney for the health plan, so there was a conflict of interest. So Ingham and Smith represented us and South Country. Smithtown had their own attorney, not Gercio and Gercio, so their attorney could represent them. So now Smithtown has changed their attorney, so Ingham and Smith can represent all three districts in that. So this resolution allows Smithtown to join that joint representation. And what's good for us is the same legal fee that would have been split in half between us and South Country is now split three with us, South Country, and Smithtown. I'll add as a side note, there is a settlement in the meantime that the health plan has with Sayville, and there's no cost or impact to Three Village. So going forward, this will be a done deal.
Why did they leave?
Well, there were a number of reasons. One of them, chiefly, being that amount of reserves. They felt that if they left, I'm speculating because they just said, well, we'll leave. So, but if they had those reserves, they could use it. It was during the 2014-15 school year, they'd be able to use those reserves to help balance their budget that year or the following year. In fact, for several years beyond that, rates for our plan were lower than they were for NYSHIP, which is where they went to. And in some years, they leapfrogged a little bit, the two plans, but the rates are very close to one another. In fact, ironically, since then, our rates have been lower than NYSHIP for almost the entire time.
Thank you.
So moved.
Moved in second, Mrs. Gish. All in favor? Opposed? Abstention? Motion passes. Turning to G, authorize Gercio and Gercio to file proof of claims under Nassau County Supreme Court Index number.
This resolution is to authorize our General Counsel, Gercio and Gercio, to represent us and file this proof of claim regarding the Acme Bauman bankruptcy case to protect our interests in that case. Part of Acme Bauman's bankruptcy issue is that they've claimed that we would owe them the money from our transportation contract from the time school closed in mid-March through the end of June. And well, we disagree.
So moved. Dr. Kerman, second, Mrs. Gish. Any discussion? All in favor? Opposed? Abstention? Motion passes. Turning to H, transportation service.
This resolution is to extend the contract with Suffolk Transportation for our big bus contract, our athletics transportation, and field trips in accordance with the terms of the proposal that they had submitted back in 2018.
Question, Jeff?
Yes, sir.
What happens if they start to mandate social distancing on those buses? What's gonna happen to the contract then? Because from what I understand, social distancing on those big buses will allow only 8 kids on a bus.
Well,
It's gonna kill us.
yeah, yes, and that's part of our reopening task force. One of the subcommittees is transportation and looking at that very thing. One of the things that Suffolk Transportation had done is they did a mock-up of one of their big buses and they put in partitions between all of the seats. Had New York State Department of Transportation look at it, and they said, that would be perfect, great, love it. The federal department, or Federal Highway Transportation Administration said, no, we would not be okay with that. So, that's where we are right now. We don't know what it's going to look like in September with transportation. Our contract isn't for, any of our bus contracts are not for, well, we have to have this many buses every year. We can increase or decrease as needed. But we simply don't know what it's going to look like on a school bus in September. We don't. So that's part of the reopening task force.
Motion on this? Tomato, any discussion? All in favor? Opposed? Abstentions? Motion passes. Turning to I, minibus transportation.
So since the Acme Bauman Bus Company went out of business, and our minibus and summer school, summer ESY program transportation was with them, we had to do a request for proposals for minibus service for this coming up year. So we did the request for proposals. We got in proposals from 2 different companies. There's a scoring process involved. We did the scoring. And Suffolk Transportation was the winner on the scoring. So the recommendation here is to award the minibus contract to Suffolk Transportation Service.
We have a motion on this. Gish, Germano, any discussion? All in favor? Opposed? Abstentions? Motion passes. Okay. The board has no objection. I'd like to combine items J through P. Paul says that this would be easy to do. Let's take a little bit of time. J through P.
Yes, the first one is participation in the cooperative bid for cafeteria and food supplies. This is the Long Island School Nutrition Cooperative. We joined with school districts all over Long Island in bidding for food and supplies for our child nutrition program. The next item is establish the health and welfare services rate. That's the rate that we charge other districts if they have residents of those districts attending a private school within 3 village school districts where we are responsible to provide health services for those students. The next item is the same thing except the opposite direction. This is another district billing us for health services for 4 3 village resident students that attend a private school located in that school district. And then the next, the other items on here, M and O and P are all various contracts for special education services, tutoring and tuition services with outside agencies.
Get a motion on this, please. This is Gish, this is Germano, any discussion? All in favor? Opposed? Abstentions? Motion passes. Turning to Q, acceptance of donations.
We have several donations. The first is a check for $200 donated by Myung Jun Han and Young Ran Yu, and I'm sorry if I pronounced that incorrectly, to our food pantry. We also have a check for $425 for the food pantry donated by the Poggi family. A check of $135 donated by the families of Mrs. Scally's 6th grade students at Setauket Elementary School, also for the food pantry. A scholarship check in the amount of $5,000 from Suffolk Transportation Service in recognition of the girls cross country, boys golf, girls swimming, and boys and girls fencing Section 11 championships. That was at the one of the Ward Mobile High School scholarship funds. And a check in the amount of $1,040 donated by the Setauket PTA for cultural arts programs at Setauket Elementary School.
motion on this? Mr. Gish, Mr. Romano, any discussion? All in favor, opposed, abstention, motion passes. Turning to R, the declaration of surplus equipment.
We have an electric range from a special education room at Jelena's Junior High School that is in non-working condition. And some student desks also at Jelena's Junior High School that are no longer usable.
Motion from Ms. Olmos, Dr. Kerman, second Mr. Bizzo. Any discussion? All in favor, opposed, abstention, motion passes. Turning to S, the approval of the memorandum of agreement between the school district, Free Village Administrators Association, and the employee name confidential schedule A. May I have a motion on this, please? Mrs. Gish, second, Mr. Bizzo. All in favor? Opposed? Abstention? Motion passes. Okay, turning to S1. Resolution abolishing positions and terminating employees with the least seniority.
Mr. Connors, as a result of a reduction in enrollment, the district finds it necessary to reduce the positions that you see here on S1.
May I have a motion on this, please? Mrs. Gish, second Mr. Bizzo. All in favor? Opposed? Abstention? Motion passes. Turning to S2, the approval of the appointment agreement, interim guidance coordinating chairperson.
Yes, Mr. Connors, as you know, unfortunately, our longtime coordinating chairperson, Linda Berkson, will be retiring. We are fortunate enough to steal her back at least for another year, where we've created this contract to bring her back on a per diem basis.
We have a motion on this, please. Mrs. Gish, second Mr. Bizzo. All in favor? Opposed? Abstention? Motion. Turning to S3, approval of 2020-21 salary schedule for non-aligned employees. Instructional.
Yes, Mr. Connors, this is the routinely what we do every year. We review the salaries for things such as summer programs in the SY and all the travel camps and things like that. So this recommendation is just to approve the hourly rates that we discussed in exec session.
The motion. Mrs. Gish, Mr. Romano, all in favor? Opposed? Abstention? Motion passes. Turning to S4, approval of 2021 salary schedule for non-aligned confidential employees in district clerk.
Yes, these are the salaries that were discussed in exec session for our non-aligned personnel.
Motion on this, please. Mr. Bizzo, second Mrs. Gish. Discussion, all in favor? Opposed? Abstention? Motion passes. Now, I think carries S10 and
That's ten.
Yes.
10 through 15.
Yes.
Okay, so it's items S10, contract agreement with the individuals listed there. We have a motion on that, please. Mr. Kornreich, second, Mr. Bizzo, all in favor? Opposed? Abstention? Okay. Turning to personnel matters, instruction. We have a motion on that. Mr. Gish, second, Mr. Bizzo, all in favor? Opposed? Abstention? Motion passes.
Mr. Connors, sadly, this time of year is when we receive more and more information about retirement. As you can see, we are losing over 200 years of service for from our instructional community here in Three Village, and we wish them well.
We certainly do.
In addition, I would also like to point out that you have approved Ms. Connolly. I'd like to recognize her as our new Executive Director of Student and Community Services as of July 1st, so I would like to congratulate her as well.
And we're going to turn now to personnel matters, non-instruction. Oh, we did, okay, I'm sorry, non-instruction. We had a motion on that, didn't we? No, we did have a motion, I'm sorry. Mrs. Gish, second. T was blank. It was T, yes. Mrs. Izzo, second. All in favor, opposed, abstention, motion passes. Now we do T2, which is the non-instructional personnel. Let's vote on this. The motion on that, Gish, second, Mrs. Romano. All in favor, opposed, abstention, motion passes.
Mr. Connors, for this one, sadly, we, as a result of retirement, are losing many more members of Three Village, I'm sure, than anybody has anticipated. Over 220 years serving the Three Village Community and School District, M&O administration, clerical, and custodian. We're also sad to see them go.
Thank you, Bert.
Thank you.
Turning to you, the recommendations of the Committee on Special Education, Subcommittee on Accommodations 504 plan for the meeting date stated. We have a motion, please. Mrs. Gish, second. Mrs. Germano, all in favor, opposed, abstention, motion passes. Turning to V, the recommendations of the Committee on Preschool Special Education for the meeting date. Mrs. Gish, second. Dr. Cummings, all in favor, opposed, motion passes. There is no need for a second public participation session. But before the board goes back into executive session, I would like to make a statement. As most of you realize, I've had the good fortune of serving on the Board of Education for many years, 20 to be exact. I first served on the board from 1994 to 2006 and was re-elected in 2012. During that period of time, I served as Board of Education President for 16 years and Vice President for 2. It has been a privilege for me to serve on the board and have an impact on the educational direction of our schools, which is one of the reasons why many of us chose to live in Three Village community. In the upcoming year, I decided not to be a candidate for a board office position, and I look forward to serve as a trustee and work with the new leadership team. That statement tonight. Can I have a motion, please, to go back into executive session? Mrs. Gish, second, Mr. Bizzo. All in favor? Good evening, everyone.